Hey, what's up everybody? I'm KB Kwan. Welcome back to another episode of Taste of Asian Food. Today's recipe is sweet and sour pork ribs Cantonese style. And usually when we do these Cantonese style pork ribs, we will do a pre-treatment before we stew the pork to tender. That is to deep fry it. But today I'm going to do it at home. So instead of deep frying it, which is going to have too much oil left over, instead of doing that, I'm going to bake it in the oven until golden brown. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's take a look. Let's begin with the pork ribs. Since I do not have a butcher knife, I requested my butcher to cut the pork ribs into bite-sized pieces. Next, I place the pork ribs in a pot of boiling water. Along with some ginger and a stalk of spring onion cut into sections, some rice wine. Blanch the pork ribs for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now let's address the question about blanching the pork ribs. It ultimately depends on your preference, because blanching the pork ribs with ginger, spring onions and rice wine, the purpose is to remove the impurities and the gamey smell of the ribs. Some home cooks don't really mind the pork ribs, the natural smell, and skip the step. And I normally do not do that if the pork is fresh and there's not much smell. So in that case, I simply skip blanching and wash them thoroughly in water to remove any blood debris, and it is good to proceed to the next step. After blanching for about 2 minutes, I'll then remove the pork ribs from the water. After remove the pork ribs from the blanching water, I'll then wash them again with running water to remove any blood and any fragments of bones that is attached. Then wipe them with a clean, dry cloth. From here onwards, in a restaurant, normally we will deep fry the pork ribs to impart an extra layers of flavor before we stew it with other ingredients until it's become tender. But it does require a larger amount of oil and leave some behind, some used oil, which can be wasteful, especially if we do it at home. So today I decided to use a different way, that is to bake the ribs at high temperature until they turn golden brown. Add some oil to the ribs. Alternatively, you can also use an air fryer to fry them until golden brown. Heat some oil in a pan or a small pot over low heat. Then add the rock sugar. If you don't have rock sugar, you can use your normal white sugar or brown sugar. Keep the heat low as the sugar can burn quickly. When the sugar has melted and turns amber, now add just a little bit of water. And be careful, it will splatter a little bit. I'm going to use this caramel to coat the pork ribs afterwards, which it will turn it into a stunning glossy surface with beautiful dark brown color. That's what you expected to see in a Chinese restaurant. Meanwhile, let me show you what other ingredients we need to cook the pork ribs after baking. Some spring onion cut into sections, a few more slices of ginger, a few cloves of garlic, and as for the seasoning, some light soy sauce, some wine, vinegar, salt. Let's get back to the pork ribs after 30 minutes of baking at about 230 degrees Celsius. Now you can see some char marks. I'm trying to simulate the deep frying process by using the oven to create some extra flavor. Return the pork ribs to the caramel. And cook over low heat until all the pork ribs are coated with the sugar syrup. Now add the remaining items, the garlic, ginger and spring onion. And the seasoning, soy sauce, wine, vinegar, salt. Give it a good mix. Add some water to simmer the pork until tender. Okay, it's about time. Let's do a taste test. I would prefer to add a little bit more vinegar and sugar. Because this is sweet and sour pork ribs. And you can also see that now the liquid has nearly dried, which turns into a thick and glossy gravy. Let's cook for a little while. Okay, now switch off the stove. And you can see that the gravy has become very thick. Garnish with some spring onion to serve along with some vegetables and steamed rice. That's how to make sweet and sour pork ribs by using the zhenjiang xiangchu, the black Chinese vinegar and rock sugar. And also, instead of deep frying it as a pre-treatment, I bake it in the oven. And if you'd like to get a recipe, I've included the recipe in the description below the video. And don't forget to subscribe, tap the notification bell and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you again in some other similar video soon. Bye for now.